This conference will now be recorded.
Thank you. So what we are going to do today, guys, we have to close this Docker file concept as quickly as possible. Then we have to move to the Docker Compose, right? And then we have to go ahead and go for the discussion about the Docker Swarm little bit. We are going to discuss about the theoretical part of this because we are not going to use the Docker Swarm. We are going to use the Kubernetes. So then if time permits, we will try to look into the Kubernetes introduction. Let's see how it goes. So first of all, our main target is to create a Docker file. So in the Docker file, what we are going to see, I request all of you to please keep mute. Okay, in Docker file, what we are going to do is something called as, I hope that I am able to hear everybody. You are able to hear me, guys? Thank you, guys. Okay, cool. So in Dockerfile, what we are going to do, we are going to do one example that is a PHP front end at the end of this, and then we are going to do something called as PHP front end, and we'll have MySQL backend. So I will show you how we can create two containers. One is from the PHP and another is from the MySQL. So we'll create these two containers by using two images by using the Docker file, PHP frontend, as well as the MySQL backend. So a lot of things will get covered inside that. As well as in the Docker file, we'll try to, so that will be the end of the Docker file, you can say. But inside the Docker file, let me show you now what is the CMD versus entry point. This one I need to discuss. Then we have to discuss something called as what is on build command, right? And we will be discussing about the difference between CMD and entry point, as well as we'll see the on build command. Also, we'll see that how we can create a multi-stage Docker file. So these are some of the topics that we would like to cover up today, right? And another important thing is, guys, that what we have seen till now in the Docker file is that we tried to cover up basic commands such as run command. We have seen the copy command, we have seen the add command, we have seen the from command, keywords other than the command. It is not a command, basically it is a keywords which are used in Docker file, right? So we are going to do this as well. We have seen this one, right? And Piyush, please mute somebody's, there is a noise coming up. Okay, as well as we have seen the expose, right? We will see something called as a volume also. We'll try to map the volume. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so let's start writing our first exercise. So before that, so yesterday, last time somebody was asking that how I can search the images by using the tags, right? So if you want to find out from the tags from the, let's say, from the Docker Hub, then let's say that you want to find out the images with certain tags. Let's say star tag is there, all the tags you want to find out. And let me limit this for the 5 lines only, and see nothing is coming here, right? Because some HTTPD is not coming here. So let me try out either way. Docker search, and let's say Nginx. So you can see it is showing one, because normally this HTTPD and Nginx, they don't have a tags. All the official images doesn't have the tags, right? But if you want to search something called as my email, my links, which has been the images which has been created by me, and they are on the Docker Hub, you should be able to see, but it is also not showing like this one. Let me check out slash Kubernetes. Okay, so it is not showing here. So basically, I can use one more thing. Let's say if I have now, how many images I have in the, if I look at that, I have images with the tags called as v1, v1 latest, and 7. And if I want to search them, so I can use command. Let's say if you have hundreds of images and you want to search with some certain tags, you can use command star colon v1, and it should list you the it should list you the images with the tags. Okay, so I got all the images with the whose tag is v1. Or else if I want to search with, let's say that I have images called as my star colon star, I will be able to see all the images who are starting with the my command. So this way you can find out the images whose tags are like certain tags are v1 tags is there, latest tags is. So if you want to find out the all the images from the local system who's having a tag called as latest, you should be able to see. But right now I don't have any tag. It looks like that. I have not used star here. So you will get that. There is a one image whose tag is latest. So this is the way we can use command to find out the files with the various tags. All right, guys. So now moving further, let's try to write our. And one more thing was that somebody asked me how to find out the difference between the tagged image, difference between the images which has been created from the commit. And another question was that how to find out the whether this image has been created from the commit or whether this image has been created from the Docker file. And frankly speaking, when I try to describe the images, it has not shown any difference between these two. So image is image, but it is not from the image. By looking at the image or by describing the image, it doesn't say that this has been created from the Docker commit or this has been created from the Docker file. So that is what I wanted to tell you guys. Okay, so let's start with our first Docker file. So VI, my first Docker file. So what is our agenda? I want to do something called as uh, CMD and entry point, right? So let me use this command CMD, cmd.df. Okay, and let's use something called as from. This is our first layer. You can say that we need to use some base image from. Consider that I would like to use image called as Alpine because it is, or I can use, let's say, Nginx image. And in Nginx image, what is important thing? What is the need of CMD and entry point command, guys? So first of all, try to understand one thing. Any container or container, if you are trying to create a container, and if you want that container to run in it, if you want that container should run up and running, you should have at least one process running inside the container. And how you can start the processes inside the container? So we have two commands for that. Either you can use CMD command or you can use entry point command. These two commands helps you to run the processes, any process, while starting the container inside the container. That is very important, guys. So let us think about the CMD command. So what I'm going to do here, I'm writing one small thing that is called as echo hello world. Okay, so this is the just one simple command I have just passing, that is echo hello world, and see what happens now. We'll do it quickly, guys. Docker build. So a lot of build command need to be fired to make you understand this. And let me tag this one with the So I'm going to create something called as m1 colon v1. This is a random tagging I'm doing it. There is no meaning for that. Okay, and now let me Docker run. So now I want to run this new Docker container with this image, and look at this. It shows the output called as hello world, right? So whenever you write something inside the container, when you are writing something here, cat, look at this, along with the cmd command, and when you execute that, right? So that will get printed here. Now, let's say that if I try to run this container with the m1 v1 and give something here, echo, let's say, let me run something called as echo dance. Look at this. It is overwriting the earlier contents. Whatever you have given earlier, that is getting overwritten by this particular command. Right? This is something which we need to understand. Okay, so now let me go again in the cmd.tf file, and now writing here another command called as entry point. So guys, what is the cmd command? Cmd command is nothing but similar like other commands, okay, which is used to execute some program, execute some commands inside the Docker. So when you execute that, it is actually called as executables. So when you execute that particular image to create a container, this command will start running the processes or commands which is defined by the cmd command. Now, what will happen if I use one more command as cmd echo welcome to k21, like this one. So, whenever we execute this particular, whenever we create a image from this one, look at this, guys. I'm giving the version 2. So there are two CMDs here, right? Look at this. This is having a hello world, and another one is having welcome to K21. Ideally, it should run both, right? But whenever you are using multiple CMD command, the latest one gets affected, right? Its impact is shown, not this one. So whenever I run this Docker file now, image, and we start creating a container from this image. So you can see here Docker run, and let me give this image. This is M1 colon V.
Hello, Ramesh. I have query over here.
Uh,
As yeah, can we discuss for 2 minutes about regarding this only?
can you just hold for some time, please, if you don't mind? Okay.
Okay, okay, fine.
Thank you. So welcome to K21, right? Now see here, guys. If I write 2 times this one, so you see again this particular cmd.tf. Okay, now see here. If I give this 100 times also this cmd command, last command will be only executed. All other commands will get removed. It doesn't have any meaning. Okay, so that is the cmd command. Now, so along with this one, we can have one more command that is called as entry point. It is a similar command. CMD and entry point command is used to start the processes inside the container. So I am using this command entry point here now, right? And inside the entry point, I'm writing echo welcome to entry point. Okay, that's it. And now let me execute this first of all. So guys, you know that one, there is no meaning for so many commands of the CMD, only one will get executed. So I will remove that one. So let's have only CMD and entry point now, and try to differentiate between these two. So I start dot bill dot hello friends, please mute yourself. Okay, so now docker build -f cmd and let me tag as m2 colon version 1. This is another name I'm just giving randomly. So look at this, it has executed, right? It has executed. So here now see, welcome to K21 and welcome to entry point. All right, so these two lines has been executed. Now if I run this container by using this image, what will happen? Docker run, and let me just use this command. And see, it is showing me the welcome to entry point. It is not giving me whatever it is written on the but whatever the command I have passed by using the cmd command, right? So look at this again. But another way, let me show you. Docker run m2 colon v1, and if I give some information here, let's say echo entry point is beautiful, right? Something like that. Some command. I'm just passing it. Okay. Now, what will happen? It is still showing me this only. Welcome to entry point. It is not getting overwritten. But earlier, when I used the cmd command and I am passing some value with the on the prompt, okay, that time it was getting overwritten. It doesn't make any impact for the entry point even if you pass any value, guys. So this is something interesting. So entry point is the command which is used to execute the commands in the container. When you start the container, it doesn't get overwritten, but cmd command gets overwritten with some other command which if you queue. All right, so now let us try out another way. Now I am just now giving here this cmd command at the after the entry point. Okay, so this is my entry point command, which is just giving me the welcome to entry point here, right? And echo, and I'm giving here cmd echo welcome to K21. So when I execute this command, what will happen? Let me see here. Docker, I will use my Docker R, control R, Docker build. Okay, this command so that I don't have to type it again and again. So let me use m3 colon v1. It has created now new image out of it. So when I run this one, Docker run, and this image m3 colon v1, look at this. It is still showing me the output of the entry point. This is something which you need to remember, guys. And another important thing is that whenever you are using these commands, you can use executable form, shell form also. You can use shell form like this if you want to use. Okay, this is also effective. It is same thing like what we have used earlier. Here also I can use like this. Comma, yes, and let me, cool. Now see, let me save it here, and again let me create this content. Again let me create this build one and create m4. Now see here what is happening, and let me run the one more time this command, and look at this. This is the impact. It is cascading the output. Okay, so guys, try to understand here one thing for sure, that is something called as sorry guys, I need to use one application to draw some diagram here. Okay, and let me use this Dockerfile. application. Okay, so now if this is my entry point, which is having some commands. In the entry point, if I have commands here, this commands doesn't get overwritten by any other by any other way. And let's say if you want to cascade some commands with the entry points, you can use cmd commands. So what happened? These are the entry point commands. Okay, so what will happen if you execute this Docker file, and when we create image out of it, and when you run a container, this entry point commands will get cascaded with these commands. So if you have something called as there is a big command which you want to pass and some parameters need to be passed, so you can start with the entry point and then you can attach with the CMD. So this is the only one scenario in which you can use the entry point and CMD together to cascade something with the entry point. Okay, if you use entry point 2 times, what will happen? I would like to show you that example also so that it will remember in your mind. What will happen if I use, because you have seen if I use the CMD multiple times, it is only taking once, which is the last one. But if I use the entry point commands multiple times, see what happens in by your own eyes. Look at this rather than explaining it. So let me go to this Docker, my first Docker. Okay, sorry, CMD, it is cmd.df. And let me use entry points couple of times. And I am here just cascading one information called as welcome to entry point 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we have this data welcome to K21 as a CMD. Now see guys what is happening here. Let me run this command, Control R Docker build, and I'm using M5 image now, tagging as M5 image. All these commands are getting executed. Now if I run this with M5 colon V1, look at this now what is happening. It is just taking the last point. It is not taking the first one, second one. So even though in the entry point also, it will take the last command, last line, which you have mentioned in the Docker file. So similar like CMD command, welcome command also has the same impact. But only thing is that you can cascade the CMD command along with this one. Let's see what will happen if I give here, hello friends. This is the one parameter I'm just passing on. Can you see here, guys? Welcome to entry point. This data doesn't get changed, but whatever the data is passed by the CMD command get replaced. Okay, so that is very important to understand. So whenever you want to pass multiple parameters or very variety of the parameters in the Docker file or while running the container, if this variable is going to change, if this value is going to change, you can use CMD command. However, if you don't want to change any parameter or command which is running inside the, if you don't want to change the data which is inside the container while running it, use entry point. So entry point is powerful than the this one. But where you will see this information, where you will see this, right? So let me start the container run -it -d name. I'm giving this container name as w1 and going to use the same image which I have just now executed to create a container, right? So I'm creating a container called as w1, right? So now you see here docker ps. You will be able to see this command, guys. Look at this command, docker entry point. Okay, this is my container w2, w1, where it has gone. See, w1 has not started. It has gone bad. Docker ps -a. This was earlier started. See, all the containers which have started are failed. They are not running. They are exited. and see the commands which are I have used here: echo, echo, echo. If I am using this command, then how the container will run? Because this command doesn't start the process inside it. Okay, so your container will fail if that container doesn't have any process running inside it. Are you getting it, guys? So how I can keep this container running if I want to use this image, if I want to use any Docker file and create a container out of that, how I can keep my container running? So let me show you that, guys. So this is my vi cmd.tf. There are a lot of things are there, but it doesn't work properly, right? Because my container doesn't stand because it doesn't have any process running inside it. So what should I do here so that it will start? So can I give something command called as a sleep command here? Let me give here sleep. I hope that this will work. Sleep, and I will use here something called as, let's say, 1000. I'm just passing this parameter called as 1000. So what is the meaning of this sleep command? The sleep command will make sure that it is a delay. It will hold the container. This process will run in the um, okay. So let me use in the container itself in the RAM. So let me now run this command, and let's see whether this container stands in the RAM or not, whether it starts or not. So Docker build. So I'm going to create a M6 now here. And let's see what happens here. Now it is started. It is started. It has created the image called as M6:P1. Now if I run this container run -it-t in the detached mode, I want to run this, and I'm giving the name called as W3 using this image. It shows that it started now. Let's see what has happened. Still, this is not passed. Okay, it is still failed. Why it is failed? So Docker, let's see the Docker ps-a command. It has gone bad. It has not executed here. W3, look at this. This is also failed. Why? Because I have cascaded that with the cmd command. But if I use the same thing to just run command, if I use with the run command, it will give the output of that commands. It is showing sleep 1000. Okay, but now if I do this way, let's say that I will just remove and I will use only one process there rather than entry point. I can use an entry point also. Let me try to do this, guys, and create the Docker build. And this is the image number 7 I'm creating. Okay, so it has started now. Let me start this container Docker run. I'm using container number 4. Okay, and let's see whether it works or not. So it has started. This is container number 4, guys. See whether it is running or not. Still it is failed. Docker ps-a.
You have to run M7 image.
You should use 7 Ramesh.
Oh, I'm sorry. M7. Oh, I need to change the container. Okay. Yes, now it is started. Can you see? This is the M7 image. So it has worked, guys. So this container will not die for at least 1000 seconds because it is in the sleep mode. All right. So that is the initial level of the commands that we can pass on into the Docker file. And when you create an image and when you start container from that image, it will hold that container in the RAM as a process over there. So you can work inside that container for the at least for 1000 seconds now. I can use the same command. I can use the same file, let's say cmd.entry point. Instead of the cmd, I can use entry point also here. But in the entry point, what I can do here, I will just play with this, guys. Let's see it works. O, and I'm making here cmd. Okay, like this one. So here I am passing 1000. 1000 now. It's the same thing because first of all entry point will get executed and then CMD value will get attached to the slip. Let's see that what happens. So cube and Docker build, and now I'm going to use emmet. Okay, now let's create a container out of this by using simple command docker run, and I'm just going to use w6 container name, and look at the image name is emmet, right? And see whether this container w6 is running or not. It is running. It is using the sleep command 1000. Okay, so you can use either entry point, or you can use CMD, or you can use entry point with the CMD if you want to pass some arguments with it. If I want to use something, let's say that, can I use this command, guys? Docker run w7, and if I pass the value called as 2000 seconds here, rather than taking the value from the image, let me pass this value. It is still work, guys, right? Because it is just cascading. Look at this w7 container it has started. It is going for 2000 slips now. I hope that now you have understood the difference between CMD and entry point. So CMD and entry point, these two commands are used to start the process inside the container when you start the container. Entry point values are not overwritten. CMD values are overwritten. You can use CMD to get attached or to cascade with the entry point command. So these are the 3 to 4 sentences that you need to remember for this CMD and entry point. I hope that you can see that. Also, you can use command of logs commands to see anything if you want to guys see. Let's say I want to find out from this container. I can use this command docker logs, but it is not showing anything because it is not running inside anything inside that. Okay, if I want to see w6, nothing is there, right? Okay, so let's move now ahead. I hope that you have understood the meaning of what is the CMD and entry point. So if any questions are there about the CMD and entry point, I will take it. Let me take one small topic about uh, called as how we can use multi-stage or on-build kind of stuffs, right? So let's see that. How to use on-build. So what is the on-build first of all? I'm going to explain you about the on-build, guys. So on-build is nothing but if you want to create image which can be used as base image for other image, or you can say child image. So let me just demonstrate this by using something called as drawing some diagram here. Okay, now think about the situation that you are creating some image. So you have written some data, you have defined some Docker file here. Okay, so you have written some statements here, right, inside this Docker file. I'm sorry guys, this is something very sensitive. You have written some statements here, Dockerfile statements. So this will become the commands which are required for the base image. So let's say that after that, what you want, you thought that I just need something additional stuff when my another image gets created. So you will write some more commands here. Okay, guys. Now this some more commands which you have written here, that will be written below the on build flag or keyword. Now what happens here? And I executed this particular let's say Docker file, and we have created an image out of it. So whenever we create an image out of this, let's say you have created image called as I1. This is the image you have created. What happens actually, and from this image, if you start any container directly, if you start any container, then the instructions which I have defined here will get executed. These instructions will not be executed. Okay, but okay, so let me explain you again this one. You have certain steps written here. Main steps are there. Okay, and you have, once you create once you once you complete this creation of the steps, then you write something called as on build, and you are firing some commands here as well. You're writing some commands here, and after creating a Docker file, you saved it and you have created the image out of it. That image called as, let's say, I1. Okay, when image called as I1, then, and if from the image I1 you create a container, let's say C1, right, then these instructions will not get executed here. Please try to understand. Okay, but if I am going to use this I1 image as the base image to create one more image, let's say I'm creating a base, another image called as I2 image, and from this I2 image, okay, so I have used this base image in a new Docker file, and from that I have created a I2 image, and from that if I create a container called as C2, then whatever the instructions you have written on the on build will get executed. Why this is done? What is the requirement of it? Try to understand thing, guys. Let's say that you want to create one base image for your production. This is your base image. Okay, you want to create it ready-made for your developers, testers, and maybe other people, and give this image to, so this becomes your base image. So this developer has taken this base image, and now developer want to run the some commands, execute some commands. So what developer will do? Developer will take this as a base image and will perform some other activities on that one, and it will create a new image which will be used. So basically, let's say that you want to run some program called as a Java programs on the top of it, but to deploy the code on the Java, to deploy the code, where you will deploy the code, you require some base image. But consider that base image which is there on the Docker hub or somewhere else, it doesn't match your requirements. Then what you will do? You will create one base image. On the top of that, you will write some commands as on build, some basic commands, and then you will create an image out of it, and you will ask the developer, look, I have created one functional base image. You take this image and deploy your code on the top of this. So whenever developer starts writing a Docker file, what developer will do? Developer has got the ready-made image for the Java, or maybe for the whatever it may be your programming languages, and on the top of that he will write some more commands here to deploy the code. So this developer doesn't have to write the entire Docker file again and again, right? And what happens again, guys? Let's say that you can use the same Java image or base image for your multiple customers. You can ask the one team of the developers, look, use this is a standard certified Java image, base image, okay, which has been verified by our company senior developers. You can use this as your rather than downloading the image from the Docker hub and recreating again same thing. Don't do that. Use this image and write the code on the top of that one, okay, and create a new image and use it. So that is for one team. So team 1 will use their own standard code for one application. Team 2 will use again a same image, base image, to create their own code, right? So that is why this on build command is really useful. So I will try to show you something interesting. So guys, once you create any image, and one important thing is very important to let me make you understand. Any image which you create is not modifiable. You cannot modify the image. But what you can create, you cannot modify the image. Let me put it here. You cannot modify the image. But what you can do, you can redefine the Docker file and you can recreate the image, because image is not modifiable. It is mutable. It is it is actually mutable. It is not. You can say immutable, right, guys? Okay. So let's take one example to let's take one very small example to explain this concept so that everybody will understand what I'm saying. Okay, so let's go here. So first of all, I will create a base image. Let's say that I'm writing one code called as a touch base underscore image dot df, right, guys? And let me use here vi base underscore image. Open this one, insert from. I would like to use one of the operating system, thin layer operating system, CentOS :7. This is my base image. I need to create my image, right? So I'm using this image, CentOS :7, and I would like to create something called as work directory. Inside this one is /data, right? So this is my base image. Now what I want to do, I want to use on build command here, and in the on build command I will write, let me copy one script here, copy 1.sh script from slash into the /data folder. So this will get copied from my base folder from where I'm creating a image. Okay, and now what I will write here, sh /data 1.sh, and let me redirect this output inside uh, let's say that /data /output.txt. Okay guys, so this is a simple script is there. You can just go through the script again, what it is doing. This is my base operating system, CentOS 7. Okay, this is my when this image will start running the container, create the container, it will automatically create the data folder, and inside that folder I am going to write one small script which is 1.sh script inside the data folder. So it will get copy the 1.sh to the data folder. So this is my normal commands, right? Now, so whenever now what I want to do on the on build command. So whenever we whenever we use this base image as a base image to create some other image, that time what will happen? It will execute this program and it will copy the data inside the output.txt. Okay, so let's see that how it works, guys. So let me save this. I'm creating one script here, vi1.sh, and I can use something called as bin bash. This is the environment I will use, and write here echo welcome to on build command, something like that. And let's redirect this output to, because this is output which will come, right? Let me redirect this to the okay, fine, no problem. And date command. Okay, so what will happen? It will just run the date command and it will try to bring this output inside that output.txt file. Let's see how it works, guys. Let me save it and change the permissions a plus rwx to 1.sh, so it will be executable. Now let me create the image from this one. So what is there inside this base image, guys? You can see simple. I have used very simple logic to make you understand. So if you understand the fundamentals, then you can easily build a big logics. First of all, need to understand the very fundamental things. So this is my base image. This is my work directory which will get created inside this image, and it is going to copy this data. So whenever we create uh, the another image from this image, that time this command will run, right? Data.1sh, whatever the output of this command will be there, that will be given to inside this particular file. So rather than that, what I will do here, I will just make some change, guys, to make it normal. Okay, I will not use this one. Just run the one simple script only. And now here the script which I have generated, that is vi 1.sh, inside that we will do that activity, create output.txt file. So whatever the output will there, it will come into this one, output.txt file, output.txt.
Ramesh, you have to append, right? You want both in that output.txt.
I think this will work now. Yeah.
No, when you do a greater than on the date, you have to do a double.
Yeah, and yes, I got it. Thank you very much for that. Okay, now let me save this, guys. Okay. So what is happening now here, guys? We are going to create now base image out of it. Fantastic, very nice image will be there. 1.sh file is there. Let me run this one. Docker build -f, and the name of the file is base image.tf. And let me use this as base image tag to just understand this. Okay, and let's run this one. Yes, right, correct. So now what is happening here, guys, and it has created the image called as, if you see here, it has created the image called as a base image. Now if I run this program, if I run this image to create a container, what will happen? It will actually execute only this much program, guys, right? It will just execute this much program. When you create an image and when you create a container out of it, it will just execute this much program. It will not execute this one. So I'm going to create a base container. Let's see that from the base image. Docker run -it -d -name. Let's say that I'm creating a container called as a base container one from the image called as base image :v1. I'm not giving any other ports and volumes. It's okay, right? And let me enter it. This okay. Okay, let's see that whether it has started the container or not. It has started the container. If I go inside this container, we have to check the two things. First thing is that whether it has copied the 1.sh or not, whether it has created the folder or not. Let's see that. Let me go inside it, Docker. How do I do? Execute. And let me use this as a, this is the container name, base container one, and I'm going inside this container. Okay, let me use -it. Now I am inside the container. You can see that it has created the work directory, and you should be able to see 1.sh file here, right? But this 1.sh file is the same file which you have created at the our Docker host, but it has not executed. because if it has executed, it would have created this output.txt file inside this folder, but it has not created. That means what is executed? Only thing which I have written before the on build command has been executed as a when you create the container. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to use this image which you have created, base image. So we are going to use this particular base image, complete base image and we'll create a new image from this one, and then you'll see that this particular command will get executed. So let's try out that, guys. So I have base image. Now let me create one child image. So I can write here, and what is the name of my image? It is base image, right? So I need to use this. I will use now from this, using this one. So I'm creating one image called as a child underscore image dot Dockerfile, enter, and here I'm using now the image which I have created called as a base image colon VM. I need to write here from. Okay, now do you want to do something here? You can do. If you want to write something called as create a work directory called as slash test, it will create it, right? Or if you want to copy anything else also, you can copy it, but that's fine. You can write your code here, whatever the code you want to write here, right? So now let's save this. I have not done anything addition to this one, just by other than the creating a directory over here. Okay, now let's create an image from this one. So how do I do that? Docker build dot hyphen f and the child image, and let me tag as child image colon version 1. So now it has executed unknown instruction sh. Have I given any instruction here? So that is not taking up right there. So sh is not taking it. Let me use bash command there. I will quickly just change that, guys. So this is my 1.sh. I need to change the script. Here it is fine. Into Dockerfile, I need to change it. Base image underscore df. Actually, this is not taking sh. I need to use bash, and it will execute this command. Okay, let me try out this. I think this will also not work because I need to give something called as a run there, right? On build run. Let me use one second, guys. Run. Okay, or can I use here? Okay, let me try this case command. Yes, okay. And let me create the image from this one, guys. Docker build base image, and let me create this as a base image 1 because there was some issue. Yeah, I forgot to give the run. So base image 1. Okay, now enter. Now it has created. Okay, now I will use this as a child, this particular image name inside this one, base image one. Save this, and now create a new container from the child image. So we just executed one more command before some time. So let me just do it again. Docker run docker build hyphen dot f child image, and let me tag this as child image one dot colon v1. Now this time it is coming up properly. All right. So now I got the child image properly. Now let me just create a container from this child image. So docker run hyphen it hyphen d hyphen name. So let me use c1 and child image 1. Now it has created docker ps. So it should be running the now container 1. Yeah, it is running now. Let me go inside this container docker execute. Execute command is used to execute the container, right? So if you want to go inside the container, or if you want to run some commands inside that, you can use execute command. And with the container num c1, and let me go inside the bash. Okay, cool. So now you can see there is a test has got created, so it worked. And there was a folder called as a data. Yes, it is also created. And look at that. It has created output.txt file. And if I open this file, you will be able to see the two things. Welcome to K21 and date. See, it is coming up. Welcome to on build commands and the date which is showing here. Okay, guys.
Ramesh,
So
Ramesh, can you just explain the run command, why we have used that? Just missed that one. Sorry to ask in between.
okay, so the run command which is there here, right? Child image.tf. Okay, sorry. I need to use inside the base image, right? I have used that into base image. Actually, what on build command is not a, if you want to execute any command, if you want to create a simple, let's say, even if you want to create some file also or folder also, you can use this way. Let's say that home, inside that you want to create a test folder. So if you want to run any single command also, you have to use a run command. Then it will execute it. Now what I was doing actually, this is the command I was giving. That was not a wrong thing. But I was not giving them instruction that when you are building the new image, from the new image, you run this command inside that. So it was going like this one, on build bash data1.sh, and it was not executing because it was not understanding what is this. So you need to use a keyword if you want to run a single command also. Okay, I hope that is clear now.
Ramesh, can we use CMD?
CMD is basically can be used. Yes, we can use CMD as well. Yeah, but problem is that with the CMD, CMD is used to run the processes, right? It is always that command is used to systemctl start httpd stop http. It is better for that purpose, but you can, yes, you, in this case you can use it. Okay, guys.
Uh,
So now,
yeah, Ramesh,
uh,
one question. So in the main base image, you are running the bash command. So normally it should execute within that file itself, right? Because base image, whatever we have, it should execute all the code. Why it is not executing in the base image and only in case of child image, even though if we have the run bash command within the base image itself?
right, and that is what the job of the on build command is. On build command segregates this particular stuff. Okay, so see, guys, what happens basically now, if you have a source code in the practical scenario, if you see, if you have a source code, developers don't want to go into the base image creation. They always like to develop their code. They are good with that. Why should they create why should they create the base image? So somebody need to give them something called as a image creation, something called as a source to image creation container kind of thing, right? So this much command will help you to create a base container or base image, you can say, sorry, not container, base image. And on the top of that, this has been the Docker's architecture. They have used this framework, or they have used this on-build command just for that purpose only. If you have any image, and if on the top of that, if you want to run some commands while using this image as a base image, on-build is used. So there is no specific reason, if what you are asking that why it is used. That is the architecture they have followed.
Okay, so since we are running only the child images, okay, it will run these commands only when we run the child image, because child image is the main image that we are going to use for the run.
Absolutely, absolutely. That is the funda that has to be used.
Oh, okay. Now I got it. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, guys. So I'll just I'll just take a 5 minutes to read the questions if there are in the chat box. If are there, then we'll just go through it, and then I will just take the calls, just so that everybody will get it. I will answer everybody's questions then. Thank you. Just like okay, all right. So this is something which is different. Okay. Venkatesh, is it clear now? I think you said the Docker images -a command. Is it required now?
Ramesh, actually, last week we discussed about this Docker images, right? Like creating an image from using Dockerfile, right? So yeah, when you do that, yeah, I was
You
just
got this
confused
one?
about this child images. So yeah, it was clear. Like yesterday when I did the practical session, it was clear. Like it is
Okay.
creating a lot of child images while
Ah,
creating main image
hmm.
using the Dockerfile.
Right. These are the layers basically. It creates a lot of layers are
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yes. Just wanted to see that. That's it. Yeah, it would be Piyush, it would be really great if you can put these kind of images in the activity guide so that newcomers like us will understand that yeah, it will create a child images while
Okay.
creating
Okay.
using Dockerfile.
So you want this command to be added into the activity guide. That's what you're saying?
Yes. Because initially I was a little bit confused when I was working yesterday, so I couldn't understand why it's downloading many images. Then later on, I could understand that yeah, it is a child image which needs to be created as part of creating a main image.
Ah, right. Okay. Okay. So basic. Yeah. Okay. Correct. You are understanding correct. Okay. No problem. I hope that that is clear now. I no need to discuss anything on that, right?
Yes, Ramesh.
Thank you.
Yeah, Ramesh, Santosh here.
One second. One second. Just give me 1 minute. I'll come on that, Santosh, if you don't mind. Is it related to this one, Santosh? You want to ask or something else?
Yeah, I did enter this one only. Now, if you see sometime back, you overwritten the container, right? Docker, Docker run and when I think you overwritten the container files, right? That is a
No,
dash.
I'm not able to hear your because there's a lot of noise. Can you switch off your television? I think then only I will be able to hear that.
Yeah, there is no background noise. Are you able to hear me now?
I'm able to hear, but there's a lot of background noise coming from some. I think somebody else might have unmuted. Yeah, now you can go ahead, Santosh. It is coming from your side only, Santosh. Okay, just try out that.
Yeah, he's
Yes.
maybe using his earphone.
Yes, right. He has to use headphone.
Yeah, sorry, I'm using headphone. So that might be. So
Okay.
you're overwritten that file, that image, sorry, container dash, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then after, but you said that will be overwritten the image file. But when you run again that file, It was again old contents.
Don't use your headphone.
Hello.
No, I'm not actually. I think a lot of background noise is coming out. That's why I'm not able to hear.
Don't use your
Ganesh,
headphone.
you can please use your headphone.
Yeah, I'm using my headphone only. Are you able to hear me now?
Acha, okay. Okay, just Santosh, just give me some time. I will come back to you. Just you can write your question in the chat box. I will answer that one because a lot of noise is coming. That's why I'm not able to pick up that question. Sorry for that.
Okay,
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't use your
Okay.
headphone when you're speaking on over here.
And I think
Oh,
there are
it is
people in
like
the back.
that. Expected to separate content creation, but why only last line is executed? Gyanendra, Sinha, I have not understood your question now. You might have asked this question earlier. Is there anything specific that I need to talk on this one? I expected to separate container creation, but why only last line executed? Anything specific? This Gyanendra, are you there?
No, thanks. I got my answer. Thanks. I got my
Okay.
answer later on. Okay.
Yeah, Nginx images, that is a very light image and we can use
Yeah,
any
that
images.
also. Yes,
No.
I got my answer.
Okay, Ganesh is asking good question. If CMD and entry point are similar, what is the need of having two commands? I hope that Ganesh, I answered that question also, right? What is the difference between them? Okay, Kavita, is it clear now? Okay, Kavita, if you want to answer, you can answer. Okay, all right. Yes, Ganesh, correct. I think you have said right later on. Any practical implementation? Okay, I have given the answer, Ramesh. Any practical implementation of when to use CMD and entry point? I hope that you got it right.
Yeah, Ramesh. Yeah. Thanks for that.
Thank you very much. And so we can say that entry point has priority over MG. Absolutely correct. Yes, Kamlesh.
Yeah, Ramesh, Santosh, could you
Mhm.
please explain again that overwritten container?
Overwritten container. You want to explain me again the entry point?
Yeah.
Okay, just give me some time. I will just explain you that. Uh, I will explain you. Just let me pick up these questions. Okay. Any reason why you will put the contents inside the brackets? No, this is one of the ways, Sumanta, to use. We can use shell form or another form is called as executable form. You can use any one of them.
Okay, Ramesh. Thank you.
Yeah. But basically, but you might have seen that bracket wala is working very nicely, right? So rather than just writing a executable command. So use shell form. That is always better.
Okay.
Uh, yeah. So I have given the answer of the Padma Sri Ramakumar. I have answered your question. Can I have more than one entry point? What happens? We have seen that, right? Okay. I hope that Ganendra is, I have explained in that pictorial format. That is clear to you now. Explain cascading of CMD commands and entry point. Yes, I have explained that. We can override this entry point. Yes, HM, I have answered that as well, right? Yes, we can override this entry point with Docker run entry point. Yes, correct. Any specific question that you want to ask HM related to that, or is that clear?
Okay.
Is it there?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Ramesh.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, HM. All right. Ganesh, if I want to run multiple processes while starting a container, how I need to do, right? Okay. This is a really good question, Ganesh. If I want to run multiple processes while starting a container, how do I need to? So basically, you can then cascade it. Okay, you can write ampersand and ampersand, and after that you can write multiple commands with the one CMD command. You can do that. Okay. So like this one, I can write here. Let's say that I want to use CMD, and let's say that I want to do something systemctl start httpd, and I would like to run one more command. I can use this way also. Systemctl start another command. Let's say I want to start with the named instruction. So this is the way we can do it. We can cascade with the one. Is that clear, Ganesh? This format we can use to run multiple commands by using one command. So it will also reduce the layers. Okay. I hope that
Ramesh, sorry, can I ask the question on this point?
Yes, please.
So my question is like you have shown one file in which you have put an entry point sleep, and then in CMD you have passed the value, suppose 1000. If I want to pass more than 2 or 3 parameter, how to do it?
You can give the comma and pass it.
So first we need to modify in the entry point, and then below that the parameter via CMD, right?
Right. So you can write like this in CMD into bracket, like this one you're asking, right? 1000, comma, another parameter if you want to give 2000, like this one.
No. Suppose like if I want to pass a value like password and then username, how to pass it?
Okay, then you have to use this command, entry point first. Okay, here, and then in that one you have to use username, the way how may you want to use that one, and then you have to use here CMD password. It will work. This is the only way we have to use. Okay. So this will go as a username. This one will go as a password.
Okay.
Is this your question or something else?
No. What I mean to say is like if I want to pass the value of username and password, like in your earlier example, you have shown entry point sleep, right? And then you have passed the value of that sleep via CMD.
Okay. So here you can pass this way username, and then you can pass the password right here, the value.
Okay, and then okay, and then in CMD with separation with ampersand.
Yes, that you can use.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Pramod, we use Docker logs to view the running container logs, but where can I check if container fails to start? Check the events that should be shown, and there is a Docker where logs where there is some location where we can find out these logs as well. One second. There is one command where we can find out the logs. Just give me some time. I'll just come back on this one. Okay, Pramod, I will just check out that. So this is the question that need to be marked container logs, but that is I will show you quickly. Just give me some time. Why on-build instruction not executed for container any use case? So we are using for the Abhinam, we are using it for the container only, right? Creating a container. Is there anything that you want to ask specifically, Abhinam?
Yeah, so yeah, the same thing, like the base and the image. So when you say container means, like I didn't get that basically. Like what is real time for that? I mean, real time. Can you give me example?
No, but what is the question?
No, you have created a child from a base, right? So when do we use like that scenario?
Oh, this is the example I have given. Let's say that you have multiple developers are there. Okay, you can create a one base image, and that base image can be used. The base image can be used to create a new container, so that only developer will just deploy their code. So child image is used to create one prototype image, and from that you can create container, and inside that container that image can be used by the developer as a base image, and on the top of that base image developer will write their codes. They will execute the code like the way I have shown you.
So the child one is the one. Child one is for developer, and the base is for the.
Yes, as an image prototype, you can say. It is a standard image which we create. So this is standard image.
why on build is not why on build is not run on the base then? I mean, does it? That's what I was not clear actually.
All right, but that is the answer I tried to give, because on build command has been defined for that activity only. Okay, they have used the syntax or framework in a such a way that when that particular command will run when you are using that particular image as a base image to create another image.
It's an
There is no,
architecture. So
it is the standard way to do that one. That is defined by this Docker container engine.
It looks like it is like a extend means implementing interfaces in Java means like you create a base image where you define certain functionality, and you will have an on build, and on build is for each developer what he is trying to use. For example, like let's say we have a log framework. Okay, so architectures define a base image which has a log framework. Okay, and the developer one wants to use the log framework, so he will go and update the base image with the on build command what he wants to override or what he wants to execute it, and developer 2 come back and he wants to use it, and he will go back and update the base image with the on build command, and but he will create that means base image has to be recreated again and again whenever there is a new entry happening, because if multiple developers are planning to use it, isn't it?
Yes, Pramod. So that is why we have to, you are correct actually. That's why we have to create one base image, one standard image, and let other team of the developers use it for their own purposes. I
Yeah,
will give
it
one
looks like
example.
it's
Yeah,
a
yeah. I will
Java
give one.
interfaces where you
Yeah,
define a framework and everyone goes and extend it.
right.
And if
Correct.
there is not a corresponding method available, we go and update there and implement on
Right.
your own.
Uh,
Yeah.
One more example I would like to give here. Let's say that you have a HTTP image. We use HTTP image as a base image. Okay, and if you want to run a Tomcat on this one, do you require a HTTP? Yes, of course, right? We require HTTP. So what we can do, we can create one standard image of the HTTP and give it to the developer. And ask, some developer will say that I want to deploy Tomcat. Somebody will say that no, I'm going to deploy PHP. But this image becomes a standard. And whatever the developer team wants to use it, they can use it for their own purpose. They can deploy anything that they want. Maybe your Java interfaces you are talking about, or maybe some log framework you are talking about, or maybe some other application you want to deploy. So that is the that's why this on build command is very powerful and important.
it's
But
it's, it's similar
this
to the
on build, like when we give, so I know you are talking about an abstract with implementation, which is now clear. But again, the code is still transparent to the developer, or just the abstract information. I was not sure, like
No, that code is not available with base image. Whatever the code which you are going to use in the developer phase, that is not available, not required.
available to child. Huh? I mean, the code
No,
is
no,
not available
not,
to child.
no, it is not available to the child.
Oh, it's for okay. So here the
You
like
can,
it's more, so build is so the base is like a proprietary thing. Whatever I mean, what I understand is like more of a proprietary thing. I can sell it off to the people, and then later whoever wants to implement, they can customize this, and then they may recreate
absolutely.
it. Correct? Okay, and now it makes sense. Okay, now it makes
Yeah,
sense why we are doing this. Okay.
all right, thank you.
No, Ramesh, like in this example, hello,
Mm-hmm.
you said, see, the basic criteria of what we are using, creating a base image is on build is created by us. Let's say that I am the base image creator and I am going to give it to multiple developers. Okay,
Hmm.
so I create with on build in which I write that run and Tomcat instance also. That is what I have written while creating an image. Okay, and then
Okay,
I built an image and give it as an base image to the developers. Now my developer is saying that I don't want my Tomcat, I want PHP as in your example. So he
mm-hmm.
cannot use my prototype typed image because I have hardened it with by saying that run Tomcat instance. So
Yeah,
isn't that going to be a bottleneck?
so in case that is the way that your image is going. Yeah, of course that will be bottleneck. But if your instance, I mean, ideally, if you speak, if your content is having a Tomcat, that doesn't mean you are not going. You cannot install the PHP PHP on that one. That is possible. But one thing is here clear that in case your developer, a set of developer wants Tomcat only, and the set of developers want PHP or some other platforms, what we can do, we can create a base structure, right? In that you can say that you have to install the logs in this folder only. You have to install the application in this folder only. Okay, that basic structure you can create and give it to the developers. But if you want to harden that one, then other developer will not be able to use that effectively. That if you are saying it correct.
Ramesh,
Yeah,
I think
so
the
that
question
makes
is
sense.
how
That
is
makes sense that you think that we can tell the developers that this is the directory structure that would be created for my base image and you have to use this. So we are prototyping saying that we
Yes.
have to use this. Okay, okay,
Right.
okay.
Right.
Ramesh, can you put a command for exception command where you can use PHP or Tomcat?
Okay. Okay, that then you have to again code it differently. Yeah, that is true. You can do that as well. Yes.
no, I think Ramesh, the main question is the developer using the base image. How are things transparent to him about the limitations and the scope of the base image? If
See,
it is
basically, you have to document it properly. Whenever you are creating any Docker file, okay, and when you are giving it to your developers, make sure that whatever things are there and whatever you want your developers to follow, it has to be documented. Otherwise, they need to do the R&D. Where is my standard folder? What is the configurations inside that one? So documentation is the only key to help them. Otherwise, there is no way.
Yep. Thank you.
And I think the last to follow with the last question, right? Somebody asked, if your developer want to install PHP, but then you have created a Docker file or your base image with Tomcat. So first of all, the thing is that based on developers' requirement, we'll be creating a base image, right?
That is
So
also
if
true.
developer wants PHP, why I'll put on in underneath on build command while I'll be installing Tomcat. So
that is
I mean,
also right.
yeah.
You are understanding it correctly. And the other question was absolutely to the point as well. The reason is that if this situation arises, then what to do, right? So
Yes.
I have given the answer to this one. If you are a image developer, make sure that if you are a Dockerfile developer, make sure that you create a proper documentation which will be helpful to the developer. Otherwise, they will spend a lot of time in the R&D. Okay.
Ramesh, can we override the properties defined in the base image when we create the child image? Say, for example, base image is created with Tomcat and the child image, I want to override it with WebLogic server. So is it possible, that customization?
In the child image you are saying, na? In the child image, yeah, you can do that. In the child image you can do it. But don't put everything in the base image. Then there is no point in creating a base image, right?
Yeah, base image can be used for defining the common functionality, whichever is common across all the applications like log folder or any other kind of things.
Right.
Okay, so specific functionality we can put in the child image.
Yes, absolutely correct. Okay, guys, let me take the questions because they have asked the questions in the. So Pramod has base image might be used for common framework. Yeah, correctly understood. Anant is asking in real-time development, how can teams integrate their respective code into Docker image continues to achieve? Anand, you have to use some other SVN mechanism to do that one. Okay, you have to use the base image and then you can call that code from the some SVN mechanism to call it, right? So you have to use the GitLab or maybe a GitHub or some other, whatever the system you are using in your organization. Okay, so finally the see, and you can also, you can put the Docker file, you can keep the Docker file in your GitHub also and ask one person to maintain that one. That is possible. Right, Anand? Okay. I hope that you answered. How can teams integrate? That's fine. .df is this file system. Sonal, it is Dockerfile. Okay, it is a form. DF is, you can use Dockerfile also, or you can use DF also. Alago is asking the question, what is the difference between entry point and on build? It seems that one could have been executed by both. I think you got it right, Alagu. Hope that is clear to you now, right? Kanna, I'm so sorry, I'm very bad in the pronunciation. What is the difference between, Sonal is asking what is the difference between Docker run and Docker execute command? Not quite clear on the same. Docker run is used to create a container and Docker execute command is used to access the container and run the commands inside. That's Sonali.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And one more question I had was on, is the base image looks like a something like what we say in, for instance, like a framework, and then we put a child image like putting the set of refined commands to execute the same?
Yes, yes, correct. Yes, Sonali.
Thank you.
Okay, and Venkatesh's entry point is something we use to run our primary processes. Yes, Venkatesh, that is clear. Okay, you are giving the answer. Good. Thank you very much for helping me, Venkatesh. Keep that task. If you have any questions, please do ask. Okay, and okay. Sonali, it is your first day. Don't worry, but make sure that whatever the videos has been recorded, please go through that videos. It will be really, really helpful to you, so that you can catch up with the other guys. So you get almost 5 days to go through the videos. So please go through the videos and come. That will be great. But now Kubernetes is starting, so it will be really helpful, guys. Don't miss the sessions. We are going to do the. We'll have a lot of fun in the Kubernetes. Okay, we could have used CMD as well. I think Parthasarthi, I think we are clear with that right now.
Yeah, I was just saying base image is nothing but a, generally we maintain a standard operating environment for any given
Right.
So that's the reason I was referring, nothing else.
That's clear now, right? Okay. Akhil, so first we have to create the base image using on build, and then we can use the base image and try to create new. So when we run the container, we will get commands or the instruction executed upon the spinning up the container. Correct, actually, you have understood it clearly. Kamlesh is asking real-time scenario. Okay, Kamlesh, I have given a lot of information on this, right? I hope that it is clear to you.
Yeah, that is clear now.
Okay, thank you. Yes, right, Sonali, you have understood clearly. On build run command executes that file. This is my first class. How many sessions completed now? Okay, so Piyush, please help the Janakiran. Okay, so you can go to the K21 portal and you can access it, guys. All right. Yes, Moodley, I will do that now. Let me just send it right away. But this will go again. One second. Pramod is asking even though we are saying based image as a common image used by all the, but we need to have periodic updates whenever there is. Yes, of course, correct. What will happen to child image layers when we remove base image? This is a good question, Murli. What will happen to child image layers when we remove the base image? So basically, a base image use the once you use that base image in the child image, all the functionality of layers of the base image gets copied inside the child image. And even if you delete the original image, it will not impact your child image. I hope that is clear now, Murli.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, and Sridhar, do I need to rebuild the Docker file if I modify the shell script which I used as a part of the Docker file? Do I need to rebuild the Docker file if I modify? Yes, yes. If you want to change anything in the base file, Docker file, you need to change there only. Okay, but we should not touch in the production.
I'm not really changing the Docker file. I'm just changing the shell script which I use as part of the Docker.
But then you don't have to change in the Docker file. You have to change the code which is in the file system. Right. I have created that Docker file 1.sh in the /data folder.
Right. So I do all the changes within 1.sh. So if I do that,
Right.
do
So
I
you
need
don't.
to use the Dockerfile?
Right. You don't have to do that. Right? You don't have to modify anything in the Docker file if you are changing in the 1.sh file. Okay. Thank you, Sridhar, for that. Okay, Anirban, any question on
I'm
that?
sorry for coming in. I missed that point. So if the base image was deleted, the derived image can still be used, right?
Yeah, if the base image is deleted, it is not going to impact on the child image.
Right.
Yeah.
But again, for that, you cannot create a new child image, right? That's the only impact, right? But again, the current whatever running, it will be not impacted, but you cannot create a new
You
child.
can create a child image of the one which is already existing. Like for example, if you
Right.
Image, you got a C1 which is a child which was based on base image. You can create a C2 base out of C1 and then do the changes.
No, your voice was breaking. Maybe I don't know. Yeah.
No, he's saying that if you create the child image, you start the container, make a modification, and save as an image, so that you can use it as a base image. Right? That is what you are saying, Rishi.
Yes.
Okay.
But that should not be the standard practice. Always keep a backup of the child image, your base
No,
image somewhere.
I mean, technically speaking, if we lost the base image, what we need to do? How we can
Yeah, that is another solution. That is another way to get it back, right? Okay, thank you. All right. So Anirban, I think that is clear to you, right? Ganesh, want to do something? Okay, I think we have discussed that many times. Mohammad Shafi, is it clear now? Could you please repeat again about the base and child image? I hope that that is clear to you. Okay, Praveen is saying, can you please repeat on base and child image? I think. Praveen, is it clear now?
Yes, Ramesh, it was clear now. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, this is a command, right? Docker logs and container, right? Thank you very much for that. But the problem is that if the container is failed, then that will go into the background, and we can find out the logs from that. It is very helpful. Thank you very much for immediate input, Venkatesh. Can we write? Okay. Can we write on build command twice in one Docker file? But I think it will get then it will only execute the last one if you use the twice. Right, Ashish?
Yeah, thanks, Ramesh.
Yeah. And zip Maven plugin from Google allow to create an image for Spring Boot application without creating a Docker file. Oh, that is good. That is good, Hicham, for that information.
Yeah, Ramesh, just because I find that sometimes it's difficult to write a Docker file, but I didn't try it again. I put a link behind, and there is another link I can send it to chat. But for like Spring Boot microservice, I think you need just a plugin inside the Maven to define a plugin inside the Maven, and you run this a command to generate an image instead of writing all Docker file. I think this plugin, and there is another plugin which name is Spotify. I write it just now. Who can help to build an image without writing a Docker file. This is just I start to look in those to plugin, but this is just information if someone wants to try it. I didn't try it right now, but if someone can work with Java and microservice and can try it. It's easy to generate image, because the goal of all this, what we say in Dockerfile, is to generate image. If you have a plugin who can help you to do it easier, we need to understand, but sometimes we want to quickly have something.
I think that plugin might be image only. So we have to check that, right? I'm thinking that way, that plugin which is coming from this site, I think that might be image only. We'll see that. I'll just check out that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much for that information. It is a very valuable information. Thank you. Okay, can you show the base image and child image? Create once. Abhiram, you want the commands or what? I will show that one. Not an issue.
Yeah. And in real time, like how there we try to create first child, like, because I cannot, I don't know, like how to start with, because do I create a like a implementation then try to define a standard, or to start with I create a base file before? So if I'm starting a fresh anything concept, so
You have
how
to,
it works?
yeah, you have to. Yeah. I will show you one example. I have one example
Yeah,
ready.
yeah,
I'll show you
please.
that one. Okay, because we are going to, I'm going to build one PHP image of mine from the scratch. It will take 1 hour, guys, but I'm going to show you that. Is that okay? Or do you want to start Kubernetes today only? Okay, that is fine, right? I'll just give some time. Can you show base? That's fine. No problem, Abdul Kader. I think there are certain videos are created that you can follow for understanding the commands. And only one thing is there, just practice. If you have a practice, I don't know at which level you are working right now. You might be at the fresher level, or mid at the intermediate level, or expert level, or maybe managerial level. So things are like that. You have to have the practice to get hands on this one. By reading this one, it is not going to understand. And if you are guys going for the CK exam, make sure that you type these commands hundreds and thousands times. Okay, otherwise just reading the answers of the question and watching the videos, not going to clear the exam. You have to do the hands-on. That's very clear. Try to understand that what I'm saying. So Abdul Kader, don't worry, just go ahead and start working on the commands. I will just send the history of the commands, guys. No problem. I think I have explained everything now. Is there any specific command, specific thing that I need to mention, guys? Vipasha was asking something called as if we make changes to base image after change image is created. No, it will not. It is not a reverse. It is not reverse, Vipasha. Is that clear? Okay, thank you, Hicham.
Thank you.
Yeah, Ramesh, one thing, could there be multiple child images or inheritance feature for the same base image?
Yeah, you can create multiple child images, no problem.
Oh, okay.
I hope that I answered everybody's question. Is there any specific question before going for the break, guys? And then we'll start with the creating a PHP front end and MySQL backend. Any specific? I hope that you understood how to create a Docker file and how to use on build. These are very important commands, guys. On build, which I explained you, and another one is CMD and entry point. This is the most important. Other, in case we have missed something, that you can easily grasp after reading also. But these three things normally takes time to understand. So I hope that I tried to make you understand, guys.
Ramesh, can you show just once base and the child file only? I just want to digest that.
Okay, no problem. Hmm. So this is base image. What is the time now, guys? Have we completed 90 minutes of the session? I don't have a watch now in front of me. Child image.
We have
Yes.
completed 1 hour 41 minutes of the session.
Oh, okay. So almost we need to take a break, guys. At least 10 minutes. We need a break. I need a break. Okay. Yeah, I hope that this is clear now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, agreed.
Okay, thank you.
Ramesh, this question is for Piyush actually.
Uh-huh.
Piyush, we couldn't see the history commands in the portal, like under the live recording sessions. The history comments are not updated. Is that the correct place which I'm looking into, or is there some other place
Yeah,
where they're
for the
getting
last
updated?
class. Yeah, for the last class, I think it's not updated.
Yes, last class I think I have not given them a commands, guys. This is my bad. But you can find out the commands and files for the earlier batch which I have conducted. It is the same commands I have used, guys. You can use that also. Okay. But you can just use, you can guide them for that commands. Where are these commands available? It is there. Okay. Okay. So are you there, Piyush or Ayush? Anybody? Let me. You can start the timer for the 10 minutes.
Sure,
Okay, guys. I
sure.
think they have.
Yes, I'm here, sure.
Now,
This
like, so that it
conference
can be
will
helpful
now
for
be
us.
recorded.
But 1 second. Is my screen visible to you guys?
No.
No, Ramesh. Let me make you presenter first.
Okay, okay.
Uh,
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, what was the question asked?
No,
Just
means
now.
how did you enable the log so that it will be helpful for us also maybe in the future?
No, I have done this one. Just change settings and there is a logging, and
Okay,
this
okay,
is
okay.
that's it. I tried. Let me see if it works. Okay, I have already done it.
Okay.
Okay, guys. Thank you. So
You
let's
can type couple of commands and then go to the log and verify. You can do that, Ramesh. It should happen.
Okay, thank
we can
you.
do this after the session also, right? I will take care of the command if anything is missing. No problem. I think we should start the session, Ramesh.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you very much. But let me just make this happen. I don't know where is the logs now. Guys, please let me just go here. Let's start the session. Touch multi-stage .df file. What is a multi-stage? Quickly, let me explain. It's a small topic, but useful topic, guys. Can I use this way from Nginx? This is one image I'm using, and from HTTPD. What will happen if I use the both images inside one? And let me just, for the sake of understanding, I'm just creating one directory here, /data, and here I'm creating another directory called as okay. What will happen if I execute this now? Let me try out. So I'm using a 2 times from command in the Docker file, and let me use docker build -f multi-stage. Let me tag this one as multi-stage :v1. Okay, and now let me use the images. See the images, guys. These are the two images got created. One is multi-stage v1, and the before 10 seconds, one more image has got it. So I have not tagged it. So if I am using a from command 2 times in the one link, right, or one Docker file, I'm so sorry. So it creates that many images. So if you want to create a multiple images from one Docker file, you can create, guys, this one. This is the way you can do it. Now, how I can call same image multiple times in the same Docker file. So I can say here as web, something like this one. And I can use here from wave image as wave image 1. What I'm doing here, I'm naming this Nginx image as wave image, and I'm calling this image as here from wave image. I'm calling same image inside the program and calling it as a different name also as wave image 2. So I'm calling this wave image as wave image 2. I can call this image multiple times. I can call this image as multiple times. Look at this. I can say this is my same image 2. If I want to copy it again, I can copy it. Okay, guys, and I can make it here wave image as wave image 3. Now I can use here work directory /data2. What will happen here, guys? This is going to create, let's say, well, data directory 3. I can use same also. There is no, because these are the different images going to create. So now if I execute this one, how many images will get created? Will it create 4 images? See now. Docker build dot -f multi-stage 1 dot, let me tag it. So when I tag it, it will just tag only one image. So let me tag as a one image dot v1, something like that. Now see here how many images it has got created. Look at this, Docker images, and you should be able to see, guys, these are the images. 3 images got created. Okay, Nginx image is already there, that's why it is not got created. From this one we have created these 3 images. All of them are same because not much changes are there, only work directory has changed. So I can now I can log in inside this. I can create a container from these images and I can log in inside. So in one Docker file also you can command to create a multi-stage images. Okay, guys.
So if one fail, then it will stop.
If the one layer fails, then it will stop. Yes, it will not execute second layer. So what is the beauty of why this is useful, guys? Rather than creating a multi-layer containers. So because when you execute the layers, every time it calls the images and everything, right? So layers get executed. So if you are using this approach, intermediate containers will be minimized and execution time will get increased. That is
So
the
Ramesh,
advantage.
how do we tag other images that are in none? How do we tag other images which has none tag?
No, we can tag this way now. We have to use the tag command, Docker tag. This is the command.
I mean, can we tag it in the DF file directly instead of tagging getting them?
Can we have that tag? Let me check out if you can tag that way. Okay. I think tagging option is not there in the Docker file, if I'm not wrong. Okay,
Okay,
it is
so
not.
why I asked is because we are doing one image v1, one image v2, and v3, right? So both of them are none. So we don't know which one is v2 and which one is v3.
That is also true. Yes. Let me see if I can get it from this place somewhere. No, it is not showing the difference, right? As such.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, we need to identify using while creating the log. I mean, it gives the log file, right, when you're running the Docker build command. I think we can identify from that, but yeah, it is not advisable from that.
Not advisable that way, right? You can see that. One second. No, it is not. It is giving the container images. Okay. Otherwise, you can I think describe these images. Docker inspect. And here you should be able to see something. If any changes are there, this is tagged actually now. This one has been tagged 1:v1. You see here it is showing world directory data 3. The changes it has shown that changes which has been implemented into the Docker file. That is the only way I see that we can tag it. But how to tag the image inside while creating that in the Docker file? I just check it out, but I don't know whether there is a possibility that.
Yeah, but
Even
here we
here,
have two images, so we can inspect each of them and do that. Let's say we have 10 or 15 images, we can't inspect each and every individual image and see what that one, right? So
right. Your point is absolutely correct. I'll see that one. If I got the answer, I will definitely help you to answer that, right?
yeah, sure.
This multiple image can be like child and base image also, or
Label command.
Yeah, this becomes a child images only, right? You can see here.
Ramesh, do you think we can use the label for here, like from web image, label web image too?
Yeah, but label doesn't come at a tag now. Label, you can label it. We can find out the from this inspect command. That is one good option to find out which image is that. Okay, but how we can tag it? That is the question. Just give me some time. I will just think on this one. I will come back on it.
but
Yeah, somebody
the
asked
same
this is
question,
same
Ramesh,
image.
this base image, I can, so you're telling this is a child image, multiple child image, but I can create a multiple base image also, right? New base image also, right? Or no?
Yes, you can create.
It should be onboard with onboard command. I have to create all those multiple, correct?
On build, not on board.
Sorry, yeah, on build. Yeah.
Right, correct. Okay, cool. Now, so this is something related to multi-stage, guys. If you want to create, you can call multiple from statements. You can use multiple from statements. And important thing, guys, make sure that how I have used this image. I have renamed this image as a web image, and I have called this image as a web base image and created a new image out of it. That is a yeah, that is a basically you can say aliases. This is alias basically. Web image has this is alias. This is another alias I'm using. So from one base image, I'm creating a multiple different images. So look at this. This is a base image. This is actually the name of the image. I have renamed this image as this one, and I have called this image multiple times, same image and the same program to create a new image with the different instructions. So have this handy, guys. This is good command. This is a good. Let me give it to you. Okay, guys. Now okay, I'll
Ramesh,
check that.
can we see this web image 1, web image 2, and web image 3 somewhere? I mean, like you have renamed these. I mean, you have named these images. Can we see? Because we cannot see these tags in under Docker images, right? We
Right. Yes. So basically, this can, if you inspect this one, I think this will get, you will get that information. If you describe the image. So let me try out this, guys. Not sure this will work, but okay, let me see here. I'll just try for with the two and then we'll check it whether it is working fine or not. Let me use for all also so there won't be any confusion. I need to change this one. Let me use this as a version 2. This is 3. This is 4. Let me save it. Docker Docker build. All right, guys, and now I will not tag this one because that information is provided in the Docker file. No, it is not picking up. Unknown instruction, that is not picking up. I will check that, guys. Okay, tagging, I will check it. I will come back to you on this one. Okay, now let's take one example, proper example to build our front-end image and back-end image. So let me create front-end image, Dockerfile. So guys, I am going to use my basic PHP example and MySQL example so that one container will have a front end and one container will have a back end, and we'll connect them and we'll see that how the data will be retrieved from back end to the front end, and we'll see that on the website. And touch backend.df. So I'm going to write some commands here, guys. Frontend.df. This is from, I'm going to use CentOS image because I'm a little bit comfortable with this Red Hat and CentOS. I know the commands. I can use a label. I can use this as my front end is equal to PHP, something like that. Maintainer, you can use a maintainer, let's say that is k21 something @academy.com. Okay, guys, now whenever you want to whenever you want to create a front end as a PHP, the base is required as you need a Apache, right? You need a HTTP. So you are going to use command run. What do you want to do? You want to install, right? Yum install httpd -y. So what this command will do, guys? This command will install the Apache inside this one. Once you install, then you have to enable it. So how to enable it? You can use command systemctl enable httpd. This is the command that need to be used so that it will enable it, so that whenever you boot it, the system will come up properly.
So yum will work, or you have to run apt?
No, this is CentOS now, so that's why I have taken CentOS. It will work.
Okay.
So whenever system starts, automatically it will start the HTTP server, right? With this run command.
With the enable command, systemctl enable. Correct.
Okay. Okay. If this command is not there, then we need to manually start the HTTP server.
Correct. So,
okay, got it.
Do we want to use entry point and command line entries here?
So that is, I am going to use that one. I'm going to use, just hold for some time. Now, how do I install the HTTPD? Sorry, PHP. Now we have installed HTTP, right? But I don't know how to install the PHP. So I have just got these commands, guys. So this is something which is required for the PHP. Those who know about the PHP, they might be knowing that so many files are there at PHP CLI, PHP GD, PHP curl. A lot of things are required over here. So you can copy this and let me use okay, it is already in insert mode. So now see here, guys, what is happening. It is installing all these repositories. These are the basically repositories, and then it will install the yum utilities. And this is something called as how to install the PHP. So I'm installing PHP. So my base image is CentOS. On the top of that, I install HTTPD. On the top of that, I am installing PHP. Okay, guys, cool.
Now, you can ampersand, right, instead of using multiple runs.
Yeah, it becomes very big line now. That's why I have avoided here. Otherwise, you can do that.
Oh, it cannot be on multiple lines, like ampersand happens and followed by enter, and
then that's slash you can use.
Okay.
You are asking like this, right?
And remove the run. Yeah.
Yeah, that will work.
I mean, you can bring even the yum also to the next line after the ampersand. Hit enter,
Yeah,
and that can be done, right?
That can be done, but that you have to use this one. So a lot of formatting is there. That's why I don't use that one.
Okay, got it.
Okay, once you are comfortable, then you can use. Is that okay?
Yeah, thanks, Ramesh.
Then I need to expose this, right? On which port you want to use it? Expose port number 80. So whenever this PHP starts, it should work on the port number 80. And how to start this one? Now I can use the entry point or CMD command like this one. I will just copy it, guys. That's fine. This is the command I have to use for starting the HTTP service inside the container. Okay, but will index.html file work inside the PHP, or do I need to create an index.php file? Just for the, I'm going to write only one liner code, hello PHP. So I hope that index.html will work.
Ramesh, I guess index.php will work.
Hello.
We not have index.php. In that PHP file, we can have a info, PHP info, which will fetch all the PHP related information on that front page.
So what I will do now here, I will just do one, I will run one command, copy index, or no need to copy also, right? What we can do, let me just copy only, that's fine, index.php file into the standard location of the okay, this is the way we can do it. And I need to I need to use the command run here, right guys? Because I want to copy my index.php file. Sorry guys, this is correct. Okay, and now I want, there might be, when I install the CentOS 7 and HTTPD, automatically it will create an index.html file. Okay, so I need to use okay guys, let's see that how it works. Let me copy this file. I think
So
I need to
is
do
that a requirement for installing PHP, copying index.php file to this location?
no, the reason is that I can use the volume also here. There is no problem. I can use the volume. The reason is that I want to I want to use some code of the PHP code, and which will help me to extract the data from the database. That is what I wanted to do. So that's fine. I think we'll be able to manage that. Or while creating a container, I will do that one. Okay, now that's it. Fine, guys. Okay, so this is what required for you to create a front-end container. So what I did here, I have used the CentOS 7. I have just installed the HTTPD. Then all the PHP packages will be installed. We are exposing to the port number 80, and we are starting the HTTPD. That's it.
So all the commands which we have to run inside the Docker has to be pre with run, and which are the Docker commands that does not require run, right?
Yes, these are the keywords. This label, from, these are the keywords. CMD, these are the keywords. But all these are the operating system commands. And to do that one, you have to use run.
Okay, okay.
Now, where is the developer comes to picture here? Developer's role is that whenever you are going, there is a code, and that code need to be put into the standard document route. That is the only role here for the developers, right? Otherwise, and developer has to understand this language, so that if there are certain other parameters also, that can be like environmental parameters, arguments, or if you want to attach the volume, so many things are there that need to be understood. And that's why this is important for training for the development perspective also, because Dockerfile will be created by the developers, not by the administrators.
Ramesh, what is that -D stands for?
It shows that detached mode or daemon, kind of a daemon. D
So
stands for daemon.
it is not case sensitive. You can,
It is
because earlier you used to put hyphen lowercase d, right?
where? Yeah.
Whenever you you want to run.
No. This is a
Ramesh,
different command altogether. This is the alternative command for systemctl start httpd.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, guys. So let me
So
see.
the port is other than 80 or 443, those secured ports. So the port is need to be managed here, right? All the other configuration is different, right? If I want to go from 80 to
Actually,
443.
if I change this 443 to this one, then I need to install mod underscore SSL. I need to install the SSL certificate. I need to I need to do all the configuration of the SSL here then.
Oh, no, okay, so that will come in run command. That's what I meant, right? So those
Yes.
will come in run command, or that will be configuration somewhere else.
No, we have to create a Dockerfile. Otherwise, there is no use of it.
Okay.
If you are going to start the container and then perform the activities of the SSL certificate, that doesn't make any sense, right? We have to do in the Dockerfile only.
Or Dockerfile only. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right, guys. Let me now go ahead and explain this one. Let me complete this task, guys. Please just give me 5 minutes time. Okay, so I have created a frontend.df and let me see whether this works or not. Then only I will go for the backend. So let me see whether this container is image is getting created or whether there is any error or not. Docker build dot hyphen f frontend.df, and let me tag this as my frontend image colon version 1. Is that okay? Okay. Now look at this, guys. It is running all the commands, all the layers. Yes, it is downloading HTTPD. Cool. All HTTPD packages are getting downloaded and will help it to create inside the image. And now, once this is done, then now it is enabled. Now it is going for the PHP. It has been repo has been installed. Yes, YAM utils has been installed. Now PHP should get installed properly. Now there are a lot of changes has been occurred in the CentOS 7 and 8. That's why sometimes it fails, but I hope that it will work properly. It says that it is installed. Okay, cool. I will give the PHP, I will give the contents of the, once it is working fine, I will give that contents to you, Dockerfile only, so that you can use it, guys. Yeah, it is installing, so I think it will work now. You don't have to enable PHP, right? So it is just normal way. Great, very good. It has installed PHP also successfully. It has completed. Now it is exposing the port. It is starting the service. Fantastic. Right, guys? So everything is worked fine. Now you can see my image Docker images. So I got frontend colon v1. This image is running now. Okay, so can I start the container? Docker run -it -d. So let me do one thing, guys. For the better purpose, let me create one directory here, mkdir/data, and inside the data folder, I will create my touch index.html file or maybe PHP file. Okay, so we'll keep the code here. So right now I'm just putting here, that is for the sake of understanding, hello frontend container. We will change it.
Yeah, it's a typo. HTML.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I will just make it change. Hello frontend container, and let me create a new file index.html. Okay, guys. Now I will map this one. So let me create a container docker run -it -d -name php1. This is the name of the container I am giving, and I will map it to the port number. Let's say 9090:80, and name of the image. So what is the name of the image? Frontend version v. So I'm creating a PHP container, guys. Please keep this in mind. So it is started now. Docker ps. Yes, my container is started. Oh, but I forgot to attach the volume now, right? So let me remove this container again. I don't want to create multiple containers unnecessarily. So what I will do, I will just map it to the /data :/var www html, right guys? Now it has started new container docker ps. So this is my PHP1 container, which is now exposed to the port number 9090. Let me try out from the outside. What is my IP address of the Docker machine? This is the current IP address. I hope if it is not wrong. Yes, it is correct. Let me copy it. Go to the portal here. Use this IP address :9090, right? And it comes hello front end container. So this is working fine, guys. Cool. Now, if I go inside the container, docker execute -it php1 and then bash. And if you use command php version php-v, if I'm not wrong, yeah, it is showing. See, php 7.2.34 has been created. And now inside this var www html, I have the my page, right, index.html, which I have created because it is mapped to the container from the Docker host. So it is perfectly fine, guys. So my front end container is running smoothly. There is no issue. Now, if I want to give this particular container to you, what I should do, guys, I need to push to the Docker hub, and from that you can pick up that. Anyway, now let me delete this as well. Docker rm-f. So this will delete the containers. C1 also, because I want to just keep only one container and base container one. So this has been got deleted. So now we have only one container. Now, guys, another container that we need to create is a database container. So now to create a database container, we need to create a tables, and we need to add values inside that. So I'm going to create two files: insert create table .sql. This is one file I'm going to create. In this one I will write a syntax for creating a table, and another file I'm going to use is insert values .sql. So inside that I will passing the all the information about the table row values I will be inserting from this one. So how I can do that? Create table.sql and simple command, right? So I have that command, so I will not waste time in that one writing the commands. Yes, so create table, this is the name of the table, and I'm just giving there is a first name and roll number, something like that. I'm not changing the values, guys, let it be like that. So what is this table? It is the name of the table is prior world, first name is varchar20, and roll number. So we are using first name and roll number. Please keep this in mind, right? And vi insert values .sql insert, and let me use these values to insert inside it. So I have given some names here. Okay, so I hope that you are getting it, guys, right? You know your concentration is important. And let me save here. So I have entered the values as well as created the table, right?
So there is no commit required?
No. Now this is just a simple file I have created. Now we will call that file in the Docker file. I have not yet called it, this one. We have to create a Docker file. So now I'm going to
I'm
create Docker.
saying for the database commands.
No, not required. These are no. This command will get executed on the inside the Docker when you define the database. Inside that it will automatically get created.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so touch db1.df. Let me open this file db1.df, guys. You can create same scripts also, but I'm just showing you for the simplicity. vi db.df. So now I will use a from. Now I need an image called as a MySQL. Then here you can label if you want. Label, this is my DB colon app1, something like that. I'm just writing any random values, whatever comes in my mind. Then you can use maintainer as, let's say, k21@academy.com, something like this. Okay, now what we want to pass the environmental parameters here that is required. So the commands that we'll use for passing the environmental parameters are very simple, like what is the name of the database you want to use. So I am going to use MySQL database and give the name of the database whichever you want. Let's say that I want to use a database name called as a K21. So this will create a K21 database. Now, what I want to do, now I will copy these files. This is the way to copy the files into. This is the location inside the Docker. So if you
Ramesh,
keep
environment should be key and value pairs, right? I guess.
Right. This is a key and value. Okay, guys. Now, this is important to understand these commands, guys. Copy. This is going to copy from the local location to the inside the container. If you keep any files inside this container at this location, guys, init db.d, that is going to execute. That will execute when the container is started. Please keep this in mind. I'm repeating it. If you keep any files inside this one, and if it is having the meaning, all the files inside that location will get executed while starting the container itself. Okay. So let me copy this create SQL and
So Ramesh, that naming is specific, Docker entry point.
yeah, this is specific point. This one is, yeah, this is there. I will show that one.
And it should be like that, right? We cannot change.
It should, you cannot change it.
Okay.
Okay, and that's it, guys. So we have copied it, right? So what we did, we have used the image called as a MySQL. Now, if you want to create a MySQL image of your own, you can create. Then you have to take the operating system image, then you have to install the MySQL on that one, and then you have to export the port, and everything will be there. You can create your own MySQL also. But now I am using a ready-made MySQL, which is available. And you can use command expose 3306 because this works on the port number 3306, right? Okay, now let me save this. Now let's create a image out of it. So Docker build, I'm giving here name as a backend. Sorry, this is my actually DB1, and let me tag this as backend, right? Okay, now enter. So now MySQL is getting downloaded, and now it will copy whatever the file inside the data folder to the image, and when you start container, that will be available. So now it is labeling. Cool. It is copying. See here, it is copying also, and it is created. Very good. So now we can see that whether now we need to create a container out of it, right? So see here, Docker images. My backend image has been created. Now let me run this command: Docker run -it -d -name db1. Now here I need to specify one thing. What is the password that you want to use? So password, I will use the environmental parameter which is used for the setting of the password is MySQL _root. This is the command. Okay, this is important. So otherwise you will not be able to access the database. So, right. And that's it, guys. We don't have to give any other parameters. Backend :version1. So now this will start my database. That's fine because we don't require it. Docker ps. And see my db1 container has started. It is running. Let me check it one more time. It is running because sometimes it fails. So it working fine. So let me now go inside the container and see whether it has created the database and tables, as well as it has inserted the values inside it or not. Let's check that. So how I can go inside the table, Docker, container IT. This is my db1 container. This is bash. Can you see? Now here I can run the command mysql-u root hyphen. But before that, let me show you that location. cd. Can you see this is a db docker entry point init.db file? It is already there. And inside that, these two files have got copied, which I have used in create table SQL and insert values. So when container is started, it has executed these files. And now I will go to the database. And what is the database name we have used? K21 if I'm not wrong, right? Let me give the password. And here you go. You guys are in the database called as a K21. Show tables. It is created. And select star from my table name, prior world, semicolon. And you should be able to see this information. Right? So this has created my database. It has inserted it has created tables as well as it has inserted the value inside it. So my DB is now running fine. Now what is my objective? My objective is that whatever the data is coming here, it is stored inside this table, should get displayed on this page. So how do I do? So I need to change into index.html file, right guys, which is mapped to the what do you say, uh, front end container. So how do I do that now? Is there anybody who is expert of the PHP here sitting here? So now let me come out of the container and see whether all the containers are running. Yeah, my front end container is running and my database container is running. So important thing is now that I need to connect the front end with the database. So how do I connect it? So I need to create a database string. So which IP address I can use? So I need to find out the IP address of the container of the database. So I can use command docker inspect db1 container pipe grep -i IP address. So this is my container IP address. So whenever I create a string, right, database connection string, that time I need to use this IP address. Okay, now here you see I have an index.html page. Okay guys, now I need to change it. What code I should write here? I don't have a knowledge of PHP, but there is one very interesting guru is there online that is called as the Google Baba, and I'm going to use that. There is one very interesting website every people use in the college levels that is called as W3 School. And inside that, I'm just testing. I'm just showing you for the testing, guys. You can use your one thing. Okay, and so you might be thinking, guys, that what will happen if the database IP address gets changed? All right, that is what we can't do anything over there, and there the Kubernetes comes into picture. So Kubernetes will be helpful for you guys for that purpose. So this is a MySQL select data code is there. I'm going to use this code, simple code. Look at this. This is from the PHP to this one. I'm going to use this code as it is and copy here. I don't know whether it will work properly. The reason is that it is index.html. Okay. So now I'm going to add this code here. Okay. Now I will use here the IP address. You can use the host name also, right? 172.17.0.2. What is the username? Of course, I have root only, which I have created or mapped to the database. What is the password I have used here, guys? 123. And what is the database name I have used? K21. So this is a connection string which will take a variables from these values from this one and it will pass it here. What I want to do, I want to write a select query. This is called a select first name, last name from. Was it a last name or some other thing, guys? I forgot it. Prior world. This is the name of the
roll numbers, I guess.
Roll number.
roll number. Yeah, so it is a roll number, right, guys? Okay, so this will select all the data from the tables. And now I want to just okay, so I just want to print it. So ID is not there, so I'm removing it. Name is there, right, guys? So let this name picks up and there is a roll number. So I will change it here. I'm so sorry. Okay, and between I will write here a roll number. Yes, correct. That's it. Now let me save this. Now this index.html is created. I don't know. Let's see how this behaves now. Now everything is running. I just change the code at the index.html. I don't have to do anything here now. Let's see what happens. Oh, it is showing me the correction error. How to solve this issue, guys? It is giving me the connection error. That's fine. We'll try to sort it out now. So first of all, let me see. Okay. Let me go to the database now. Database container. And from that, I need to go to the MySQL. And I will just run a couple of commands. I think that is something related to Docker authenticity or maybe grant privileges commands are required. So I am going to change this one. Let me see if it works. I'm just altering the user root. Sometimes this works, or I think, but still I feel that PHP should be, yeah, still it is giving me error. So what should I do now? I will do one thing.
You need to flag the privilege.
I need to use the index.php file. CP. Let me rename this as index.php. I need to move this one. I will not use this as a index.html. I will use this as a index.php. Now let me see if there are any changes happening at this. Can you see? I got it. Right. Now, if I go here in the database, let me just put some values inside this, guys. Insert into prior world values into bracket anything that comes. Let's say I just will add K21 colon 1000. This is the number I'm giving. All right, let me add K22 and 1001 just for the example purpose. I'm using this. Okay, and let me refresh it. Yes, it is coming up.
So every time you have to execute the Docker in interactive mode, if you go to the command line, right? Because
Otherwise, sometimes
the database is already in started mode, right? We have not shut down it. So why we are executing it again and again?
This is the way you are saying. This you are asking me, right? Why you are?
Yeah.
Sometime what happens? Now when I logged in, okay, now I'm set the container. When I'm coming out, let me see whether the container is running or not now. Oh, see, I didn't got a chance to go inside the container only. Understood?
Yeah, got it.
Yeah, I will not be able to go. That's why I need to use an interactive terminal. Otherwise, it will not work. Now, what happened now? Sorry, I need to use Docker execute -it. That is the way it works. Guys, did you understood? How do you create the content? How do you create a content? Two Docker files are there, and one is front end and one is back end. And let me show you that files. Was it inside the data? Yes. Index.php, though you got it, guys, right? So I just need to show you this db1.df file, cat create table.sql, cat insert values.sql. So this is the way I have created it. Very simple.
Ramesh, can you explain that mv command? You did mv index.html, index.php. What was that about?
I just renamed that file. To rename the file at the same location, we can use mv command, move command.
And we
So
did that one.
I just renamed index.html with index.php.
So that those PHP commands can work that we copied from W3 schools, is it?
Right, that is the reason.
Okay.
Otherwise, I need to write that code inside HTML tags.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where the actual data of the database is stored?
1 second. The actual data of the database is stored, right? It is on the, everything is on the native operating system.
Okay, I I was trying to ask, which location?
So df-h, can you see this is my container db? At this location it will be there. I think this is second container, right? Yeah, so at this location it will be there. Let me show you here.
So in this case, that maintaining database, if you want to modify the database layout where this data will be stored, that the data will be stored, you can't segregate, or you can define the path.
You can define the path. So what you can, what you can do, normally in a normal scenario I have seen, our database lies at the location called as where lib mysql or SQL, right? If I'm not wrong.
Right.
So you can create a folder and you can map that one. So now if you want to, so this is your database container. While creating a database container, the important data you map to the host folder. So let's say that is called as where, maybe a lib mysql. So inside this, all your databases are there, right? So inside the container, the same folder is there where your database is present, where lib mysql. So map them.
So usually we store the data files because we need that to be persistent, right? So we map and store the data files on our local machine or the NFS mount or something, so that they don't go away once the container dies, and you can remap your data files and the data will be there up to date.
Absolutely correct. Okay, let me check out if any questions are there for me, guys, separately, because so many people have written something. Any specific question, guys? So that
I have a
can...
question, Ramesh.
Uh-huh.
Ramesh, so let's say we have these two front-end container and back-end container. We created these two containers and they are on the same bridge. Let's say for some reason the back-end container is on different bridge and the two containers cannot communicate if they are on different bridge, right? So will that scenario be handled by Kubernetes?
Actually, there are a couple of ways to do that. One, you can link the container, that is one thing. But Kubernetes will manage it properly.
Okay.
Right, because this is something which even if you just use a container, one static container to create a front end and back end, but this is not a production solution.
Okay.
This is just to understand the concepts. Now, once you understand this concept, now when you go to the Kubernetes, you will be able to understand and grasp each and every point very quickly.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. So that's why we have to focus more time on the container. Now, if everybody is comfortable, that becomes then Kubernetes explanation becomes very easy.
Okay, sure, Ramesh. Thanks. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the database we used the IP address, isn't it? So if we want to use the DNS or like host name.
Yeah, you can use host name. There is no problem. You can find out the host name of the container. You know how to do that?
Yeah, I mean, like
Ramesh,
I know how to find the host name, but is that host name is visible to the other container? Because IP address is bridge network might be providing, but the DNS.
Ramesh, depending upon this question scenario only, as per my knowledge, I guess the container name works as a host name also. If we, instead of IP, if we put the container name, it will connect to the database. That is my, I guess.
Your understanding is correct. So DB1, and if you try to find out the host name of it, you will get the same name. I can change this also if I want to. I want to change this name. What I can do, I can go inside the container, or while creating a container also I can set up the host name. You know how to do that. I hope that I have explained you that how to set up the host name.
Just a -H option we can use to set up the host name.
-H, right. Let's say I want to use this as server. You must be root, so I am root only. I'm inside the container. Echo, let me try out this one, guys. Echo server to the etc hosts, etc host name. Now I can use host name command here. Neonate bash. It doesn't pick up. Okay, I have another command, host name ctl set - host name server. This is the command I'm but host names. This is something which is how I change the host name of this machine inside the container.
Ramesh, in config file, if you put it, you need to restart the container in that case, or reread the profile. If you put in /proc sys hostname, it will directly accept by the kernel.
But how I can change in the proxies?
Proc says I don't know the exact path. Says hostname. Try the or net, inside the net there should be a hostname. Sorry, sys kernel hostname might be.
Okay, but sys folder. Okay, I'll check that one. The reason is that this is proc is a RAM, and we cannot modify the
So
we cannot modify
no,
the
we
content
can
of that.
we can modify that one. With the echo command we can modify that. Yeah.
Okay,
I done that thing. That is why I'm asking.
Okay, no problem. Then sounds good. Let me know the location, then I will be definitely doing that one. I'll do that one.
Yeah, Ramesh. But the question is that see, you are setting a host name. I don't want to set a host name, right? So whatever the container name is, that default container name I can choose.
Yeah,
in my
no problem. Yes, this is the
right?
customer. This name. This ID is a host name only. You are
Okay,
correct.
okay, yeah. That's what my doubt is. Yeah, correct.
I was just checking that. Can I give the human readable name? So that just to say that it is my database container, it is my host name is server or my client. That is what I was trying. Okay, but ID number which you see, guys, is your host name only. Whatever you see here, Docker PS command, and if you see the ID, this is actually acting as a host name for your container. So if you want to use, you can use the host name also.
Ramesh,
But this is
you
not
go to the
Ramesh, this is
where
not my
with Docker.
question.
container
My
and you can
question
change
is
the
when you my question is when you run the Docker with a hyphen name, I am talking about that name. Can I use that name instead of IP?
No, this is not a host name. This is not resolvable.
Okay.
You can use this name to link the environmental parameters, but this cannot be used to in the index.php or index.html to call this one, because index.php or HTML will not be able to understand this name. I
Okay.
feel
So
that
in
this
Docker
is not.
Compose in Docker Compose the concept is a different one because I use these things in my current project and it is working. I use the container name in my code.
This name has been used as a container name.
Yeah. But I'm
Okay.
using a Docker Compose, so I don't know if there is another concept in the Docker Compose.
Okay, but Docker
So in the
Compose.
Docker Compose, we define a services, right? So I use the service name in my code.
Okay,
so that
okay.
service name will be a Docker name itself, right?
Docker Compose is again used to create the basically if you want to create a multiple running containers, right? So you can use Docker Compose command, right? That is what our next topic is actually. Rather than writing these kind of commands, if you want to create a YAML files and create a container definition inside that one, you can use the Docker Compose. So of course, that is a service name comes, but if you have labeled the container name as like that, then that might be used. But the name, if you are saying the problem, if try to understand what I'm saying here. If I use this name inside the index.php, let me go here. This is my index.php, right? And now if I use here, instead of this IP address, if you use a host name, this will not work because your base host machine doesn't know what is DB1. So now if you try to go here and see the output, it may fail now. But if you are doing a container to container mapping, that time it may be useful, but this time it will not be useful. But
Okay,
even
yeah, that's what I was want to know. Yeah, correct.
yeah, now even if I use this also, now this will not work. This will not work unless and until I don't map the IP address of the container to the name in the etc host file or DNS file of the server. It will not be useful for us. So what I need to do if I want to use this, and I need to go to the etc host file here of the host machine, and here I need to type this IP address, so host name, and need to map to the 172.17.0.2. Then I can use, or I can use, if I want to use DB1 also, I can use here DB1. Now this will work. No, it is still not picking up. No, it is not. I think my Docker PS is running. Yeah, it is running. Still, it is not taking up. So that is not workable. So can I use instead of this one, the list name? Let me try it.
Do you need to recycle the node?
No, not required. Not required.
So is it to be key and value that one, or key equal to value?
No. This is just I'm using. This should be pingable, right? That is what the meaning is. Okay, now let me see if this works. No, this is also not picking up. Okay, so only IP address is picking up right now. Sorry, guys. I will tell you the solution for this one. Don't worry about it. I have the solution, very nice solution called as a Kubernetes for all these mappings. Okay, and people might be thinking that if I have a couple of applications, why should I go for the Kubernetes? But then that is, guys, only for testing and development you can use. Don't you do it for the production, because whenever your container dies, you will be in the trouble.
Is there a way we can set this hostname within the Docker file, Ramesh? So whenever your container is up, it is all set?
But how will come to know the name of the host name before creating a Docker file? That is something need to understand. Because connectivity we provide from the index.php part, and index.php is not the part of the Docker. Index.php is a source code. So Dockerfile will not make changes inside the source code.
That is fine, but from the DB end, let's say I want to have my DB container always name as DB host. I mean DB. So you will always refer DB within your index.php
I
as a
think we
host.
will. Yes, we can do that in the compose file. We will be able to do it in the Docker compose, naming the containers. That we can do it.
Right.
Okay. All right, guys. It is almost time is running away. I hope that you understood this concept of Dockerfile very well. I just need to go through the questions, guys, because nobody should feel that it has not been asked.
The front end and the back end creation, it's very useful if you get the whole process in a one liner. That will be
You want me to explain what I did
uh,
actually?
no, that is clear. But
Uh-huh.
the notepad single liner which you did that. If you provide that, then we can implement over our
This
laptop.
one, this one you
Yeah,
want?
yeah, sure.
Let me give this it right away, because later on I don't know if I get busy with some other work. So let me give it here. Use this, guys. Piyush, please just upload this also. Thank you, guys. Abdul Kader Singh, can you explain again how to solve? Which one need to solve? Yeah, no, I just Abdul, I have just changed, renamed the index.html file by index.php. That is the only solution I got. Okay. So Venkatesh is saying something. Let me just check out. Ramesh, can you please share the whole steps? Okay, I have shared. Hmm. I think everybody is discussing about the host name here, right? As such, it doesn't seem any other different question. Mom, also changing the root password code. Oh, you can use any random code. That is a PHP standard code that we need to use, guys, if you want to encrypt or decrypt the passcode. Let me go from the top if at all I have missed any question, guys. Guys, you can please drop a new front-end Docker file in the chat window. Okay, Tushar. Alagu is asking per SO site tagging inside Dockerfile is not supported. Here is the comment from SO. Thank you very much. Tagging is not, that is what I have not seen till now, how we did tagging, but this question never arose in my mind. So thank you for asking that question. Guys, okay, thank you. Why different script for the table name and insert values? You can add that, you can create same file also, Anthony. There is no problem. Yes, Venkatesh, by default MySQL commit is also auto enabled. Yeah, correct. How did you get the first names? That is from the PHP file, right, Anthony? Mhm. Partha Sarthi, but this IP will get changed. Yeah, that is the solution we are finding out, Partha Sarthi. And the best solution is Kubernetes for that, or Docker Swarm. Okay, you can use hostname.
Can you please provide the backend one also?
Backend one is here, right? Can you see?
Yeah, it means provide in our chat. You give
It
the
is
front
given. It is given. I have just copied everything in the chat box, if I'm not wrong.
I think it's not copied that backend.
It is not copied. Okay.
Yeah.
Then I will give. I think this file is there already, but let me give this file. How do I send the file to you, Piyush? On the email, or I will drop it in the Google Drive, right? Okay. I will give it to the
Yes,
Piyush.
yes,
Maybe
Ramesh.
can you try one more time to paste here, Ramesh?
Okay.
Whole
Now
thing
I'm.
select.
Ramesh, I will do one thing. I will create a separate doc for with your name with all the commands and all these things. So instead of uploading after every session, I will upload a single place. So it will help everyone to locate the files easily. That's we can do one thing.
No problem. No problem. That sounds good.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Okay, guys. So still we have to complete one more topic of the Docker, that is called as the Docker Compose, and then we'll be able to start with the Kubernetes cluster. Okay. That's it from my side for today. If you have any question for the close, please call. Please, you can ask me, guys. I'm still there for a couple of minutes more. In case you have any questions, you can ask.
Ramesh, this is Venkatesh. I told you, right? I have a question. It will be
Yes,
asked
yes.
by another question, but this is not related to today's session. This is related to export and import. So here I created an image, base image, and then I created a container out of it and did some modifications to the container, and then did a commit to the container. And then I exported the particular container. Okay, to create an image, and I wanted to import that particular image, like import that particular thing to an image. I mean, like after commits, I did an export of the container. Then I imported that particular tar file to create a new image, and then create container out of it. So when I did that, the port number 80, like example, I'm doing HTTPD. The port number 80 is not assigned, so I did like a hyphen exports to get the port 80. After that, I'm not able to start the Apache like HTTPD service. It's saying that execute failed. Is that the other way? The workaround is like after committing, I uploaded that particular container by tagging and uploading to the private repository, and then after downloading it from private repository, everything works fine. But the other way, it is not working, like the HTTPD service, the foreground.
Okay. No, basically, when you want to start the container from the image which is exported by from the after the committing, to start the container, you have to give the bash at the end of the command.
Yes, I did that, Ramesh. So it went into the container, but the HTTPD service isn't running. Like when I'm trying to start in the foreground, it is not working.
So what you should do, I'll tell you. This command you see here now, right? This command, httpd-d foreground.
Yes.
Okay. Just fire this command. It will
Yes,
work.
I did that. Yeah, I did that. So I just posted in the WhatsApp group, like the Kubernetes, I mean, our WhatsApp group, like the error which I'm getting. So that's the place where I was stuck. Like I'm not sure whether it's the way we need to do, or like the other way, the workaround works pretty fine. Like you're tagging your image and then uploading your image to the repository, and you can download it from there and then do whatever you want to do. Like it starts and it works fine, and the changes also takes place.
Actually, I think, sorry, who's stuck? Forgot your name. Actually, I shared the solution that I shared with that question. I think with the Ramesh, the name is wrong on that image. On that file, I think I'm sure the HTTP hyphen underscore index. I think that's the file, right?
That is the same question.
No, that's not the same. That's not the question. That's like last night or this morning, someone asked you the question. Piyush, if you remember, I asked you last week, and I told you that workaround. I did a different workaround. It worked for me. So I'm just thinking like whether this export and import works pretty fine or not. Because in some blogs I read that that export and import will not have all the base files or something like that.
Right. It doesn't work fine. That is not a standard way to do it.
Okay, Ramesh. That's all I wanted to know.
We should not follow the commit command to create images. No, it is just the one way to understand. This also is the way. But if see what happens actually when you whenever the container is running, HTTPD process is in the RAM, and when you commit it, what happens? It stores all the processes except that RAM processes in the image while you commit it. And when you start it from that one, it doesn't work. because it doesn't get a running environment. So what is the another way to do it? You have to stop the container, do the commit, and then start working on it. I think that will work. Do not commit the container which is running container. Stop it and commit it. Then try out.
Okay, I'll try that. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. But it is not a standard way. Don't follow this one. Yeah.
Yeah, the standard way is like tagging and uploading to your private repository and then downloading it from there and creating an image out. I mean, create a container out of it, right?
Right. Standard way is creating a Docker file and creating your own image, not committing the container.
Okay, suppose if you have a container and you made some lot of changes onto it and you wanted to create a image out of a container.
Yeah, sometimes it works also. I'm not saying it doesn't work. We have seen that practically it works sometimes. But then if this kind of problem comes, then we have to do other works like export it to the repository and then use it. That way also, there are the alternatives. But standard way is always, as the best practices people say now. So use the Docker file to create images. That is the best practices.
Okay, Ramesh. Thank you.
Hi, this is my first class. So I do see live session and another one enrolled. So which one do I need to follow? I need to follow the session classes, right?
Piyush,
Sorry,
which one is?
yes. Actually, I will share the information on the group. So maybe some people left already. So I will share this on the group so it will help everyone because two more guys joined recently. So we will share all the information on the group.
Yeah, please share it, Piyush. Yeah, that would be helpful because I need to start in the first session onwards. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Ramesh, question. Let's say I want to fire up 5 containers on one single command. How do I do that?
5 container by using single command.
Can we do that?
Doubt it is. I have a doubt on this one. This question comes something differently, right? So I need to check it whether it is possible or not. No, I don't think so. It will work. No. With this command, it will not work. With this command, it will not work. But in the Docker Compose, I think we'll try. But here it won't. In Docker Compose, the Docker Compose itself is used to create a multiple containers in one go. Okay, but from this declarative kind, this is called as the imperative way of writing a commands. That I think so. It is.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ramesh,
You can stop the recording now. Yeah.
Ramesh, within the front end image.
No problem. Sorry, 1 second. No problem, Ramesh. We can record the questions. Actually, it will help after the sessions.
No problem. Yeah, thank you.
So Ramesh, within the front end, we went to the /var www.html, and the index.html that we created, we basically replaced the .php with the index.html, right?
Right. Yes.
So
I changed the index.html with index.php because the code was in PHP and it was not picking up. That's why I just renamed it.
And that file is in /var html /var www.html, right?
Correct. Locally, it is at this location in my machine. This is in my machine, but in the container, it is at var www.html.
Gotcha. Got it. Okay.
Ramesh? Yeah, I posted that question right in the WhatsApp group, the jar file which I created from my local group. I pushed to the Docker machine. I created a folder called the target. I copied my Docker file and the jar file.
Okay.
I in the in my Docker file I have the add command. Okay, because I already copied into the target, I don't think I need add command there, right?
Right. If it is already copied, then you don't have to do it.
Yeah. Then what I did is I removed the add command and I executed that file. I created the image. It able to create image, and I created a container out of the image. then when I try to access my application, right, the local, the Docker mission IP address and 8080 port / the application context, then it's not running. I am thinking that do I need to install the HTTPD Apache server in that container?
Which image you have used?
No, I didn't use any image. I used the Java 8.
Okay. So does Java requires the Apache? Yeah, it is required for hosting. Yes, you will require it. Yes, correct. You will require it.
Or just if I do HTTPD, then it should work, right?
Right. Yum install HTTPD. If it is a CentOS or a Red Hat machine, and if it is Ubuntu machine, you have to use APD to install it.
HTTPD. Okay.
Right.
Okay, let me try that, and I will maybe.
Yeah, it will be
That
easy.
might
You
be
will be able to
because,
solve that one.
yeah, maybe container doesn't have any the server, right? Apache servers in that running in
Right.
that. That
You
could
have
be
to
the
solve
problem.
it and you have to give the answer to me tomorrow.
Okay, because it's saying that I cannot reach the, could not reach the site.
Yes. I will spend 5 minutes more extra after the session tomorrow evening if you want. Okay, but make sure that you complete the task tomorrow.
Meanwhile, I try to install that, and I'll remove that image and recreate the image. Then
sounds good. No problem.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. Have a good time
Ramesh,
ahead.
before you leave, can you quickly check the putty log once?
I'll check it. I will check it. Let me exit from this now.
So Ramesh, are we doing a swamp and compose tomorrow, or?
Yeah, because now time is finished. We'll be doing it tomorrow. We'll be working on Docker Compose. Docker Swarm we are not going to take. I'll just give the brief introduction about it. But our main target is Kubernetes. So we'll start Kubernetes at least something tomorrow. We'll have a architecture and installation if required. I will take it tomorrow.
Okay.
Docker Compose and Kubernetes will be there. Yeah. What do you
I
want?
thought we are going to have 3 hours 30 minutes today from the message in the WhatsApp.
Yeah, but see, it is important that everybody should understand the concept. Just completing the topic doesn't going to help, right? Everybody should understand it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, otherwise I can finish the task in the 3 hours also, but there is no point in that. Okay. I forgot it where I kept it, guys.
You can check the location in the putty thing where you should do the logging. Yeah, it gives you the location, right?
Yeah, it is there in the other E folder and this one. Yeah. Can you see? Yeah, it is generated, but let me see how many of them have generated. Looks good, but it is not looking good actually. See if it is
We
helping.
need to format it, but it's something helpful where people can let's see.
Yes.
Can
If
use
commands
this as
are but can you see my screen? I just tried what I did here. If you are comfortable with that one.
Yeah,
See, this
I
is
used to do this, but yeah, in the live environment, it is not advisable to do because it slows down the performance. Actually, if you do some kind of activities, right, it slows down because it will write a lot of things to the log.
right
It slows
because
down the process.
if you see if this kind of characters people see, nobody will like to watch this one.
Yeah, we can do this like control M characters here. These are things which you can remove using other of the.
I think it's better I will upload all the history command tomorrow. I think
Yeah,
better
Piyush.
than this log.
Yeah. Tomorrow
Okay, no problem.
by Monday morning, if you could do that, we can practice over the
Yeah,
weekend. And
yes, I will
and
do
moreover,
this.
I have a question like this: if we have something which needs to be addressed, like we cannot reach Ramesh until next week, right? So, is there something where we can ask Ramesh if some questions comes in and if you're stuck somewhere?
Actually, the tickets you have raised, I already shared with all the tickets I already shared with the Ramesh. So
Okay, got it.
ultimately, Ramesh is answering all those questions.
Okay, that should do. Thanks, Piyush, and
Yes.
thank you so much, Ramesh, for your patience and.
Yeah, thank you. I hope that you are liking and you are enjoying the sessions.
Yes.
Thank you guys. Bye. All right, guys, take care and have a nice time ahead. This is Saturday evening in India. So bye guys. Take care. Thank you. Let's stop the session.